Hello, everybody. We are live. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. It's the afternoon update for what's going on, um, specifically in Ukraine, but also in our country and around the world. Again, thank you for watching. As always, what do you say, gang? American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Do hit the like button. Do hit the subscribe. And please share this video with your social media platforms. Hit that share link. So let's get into what's going on. A lot of things have been happening in Ukraine. Hello, Fred. Thank you for watching. A lot of things have been happening in Ukraine. The power is out in Kyiv. The mayor of Kyiv reported that the power station had been attacked. There were 3 to 5 explosions in a fairly short amount of time that took down all the, it's called the thermo power station, that took down the heat and the power to Kyiv. Hello, Thunder. Again, hello to everybody watching. If you're just joining, it's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Do hit the like, subscribe, and share. My name's Barry Welsh, and I'm the host of this show. And this is actually my second afternoon update. I tried to do this and simulcast to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook all at the same time. The first time I tried to do that, it didn't work. It left YouTube out, which is my my main platform. So this is the American Doofus Show afternoon update. Kyiv, the power is out. The heat is off. But the fight still rages on. I'm going to go to my Twitter in just a couple of minutes here to show you some things. But one thing I want to point out. Let's start out by going to CNN and see what mainstream media is saying headline wise at the moment. Because I wanted to start with this. Ketanji Brown Jackson to be the first Black woman to sit on the Supreme Court. This is going to, she's a very qualified lady from what I've been able to find out. But this is going to be a contentious confirmation, I predict. The U.S. is expected to impose sanctions on Putin as soon as today, and I imagine we'll be hearing about that through a White House press corps briefing. Battle underway for control of Ukraine's capital. The mayor says Russian troops are very close to the city. For those of you that have been watching all of our broadcasts about what's going on there, you know, before this even started, my prediction was how things would play out, and circling the major cities was a big part of it. Thank you, man. Thank you, Thunder. Let's just jump right into what's going on as far as some in-depth things in Kyiv. Let's start here with Anonymous. This was posted 9 hours ago, and I've since been updated that they have undertaken several cyber attacks within Russia. Anonymous says, we are convinced that sanctions against Putin's criminal regime will have no effect. We call on countries that support Ukraine to sever ties with Russia and expel the Russian ambassadors. Anonymous will intensify cyber attacks on the Kremlin this afternoon. And that, again, that was 9 hours ago. They have done that. There have been cyber attacks against tech companies here in America. There have been cyber attacks against the UK. And let me just, now that I've shown this and I can get away from it. This is let me show the latest. Actually, before I start scrolling down my Twitter, let me take care of a couple of things here. Cyber attacks. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, has said that cyber attacks would constitute enacting Article 5. Here, we will do what it takes to protect and defend every NATO ally. Well, let me just, if I can get it pulled up here. Jeez. Okay. Let's listen here.
Of more troops to the eastern part of the alliance. Yesterday, NATO allies activated our defense plans. And as a result, we are deploying elements of the NATO response force. The United States, Canada, and European allies have deployed thousands of more troops to the eastern part of the alliance.
United States announced today 7,000 U.S. troops will be deployed from America to primarily Poland, Romania, and the Latvian states.
Over 100 jets at high alert, operating in over 30 different locations. And over 120 ships from the high north to the Mediterranean, including 3 strike carrier groups. There must be no space for miscalculation or misunderstanding. We will do what it takes to protect and defend every ally and every inch of NATO territory.
So, after that, he took some questions. One of the questions was, is a cyber attack enough to trigger Article 5? And his response was, yes, a cyber attack on one is a cyber attack on all. And the cyber attacks have happened. And so we're going to be hearing a lot about Article 5. What is Article 5? And how Article 5 draws the United States in. Those that watch this show a lot know our friend Chris. We had a discussion about 6 weeks ago about how all this would play out, and it's all playing out. The concept is to draw the United States into a two-pronged war. The war in Ukraine and the war in China over Taiwan. Now, that hasn't started yet. I predict within 7 days, China has invaded Taiwan. And the United States is going to be involved in a two-front war. The concept is Russia and China want to bleed the United States dry by forcing us to fight on two fronts. NATO and the strength of that alliance would be key, because the United States can't do it by itself. The United States can't do it alone. So what is Article 5 of the NATO Charter? The principle of collective defense is at the very heart of NATO's founding treaty. It remains a unique and enduring principle that binds its members together, committing them to protect each other and setting a spirit of solidarity within the alliance. Now, this map gives you an idea of the alliance. United States and Canada here in gray, Spain, France, United Kingdom, Norway. These are, this is Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, Poland, and Romania. Here's Germany, Turkey, Greece, Italy, and then the smaller Slavic nations in the middle there. This is Belarus right here where the cursor's at. That is a satellite of Russia. And then right here's Ukraine. Article 5. Collective defense means that an attack against one ally is considered an attack against all allies. NATO activated and is deploying their emergency force, as you heard announced just a couple of minutes ago. 45,000 plus troops in total. This has never been done before. This is the first time in NATO history that force has been deployed. That's how serious things really are on a world perspective. I want to show you this because I just find it absolutely incredible. The voice of reason comes from the Taliban, the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. I have to smile because it's as absurd as everything else. The Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan calls on Russia and Ukraine to resolve this crisis through dialogue and peaceful means. We are in a time when the Taliban is a voice of reason. Now, there was one thing I wanted to bring up because a lot of people are going to be saying China, Russia working together to bring down the United States. Is that really something that we need to concern ourselves with? As war breaks out in Europe, China blames the US. And of course, we got to get the advertisers in there, even though I don't get any advertising. For those that don't know, my shows are automatically limited as soon as I post them. And that's okay. I just don't want to show anybody else's advertising. Okay. So as Russian missiles flew through the Ukrainian sky Thursday, world leaders decried an invasion spreading across the country. China refused to condemn Russia's move outright, while appearing to levy blame on the United States and its allies. I talked about this a little bit in yesterday's episode, that China viewed this as Russia's right to try to reclaim property lost, and blaming the United States and Europe as the aggressors. So things aren't so as far-fetched and as outlandish as they appear when I hear them coming out of my mouth. It makes me just question as I'm talking. I'm like, are you really saying these things in 2022? Are you really talking about the idea that on Ukrainian radio right now, they're telling people how to build Molotov cocktails? Are you really talking about how yesterday in Ukraine, they were handing out AK-47 rifles and ammunition to able-bodied citizens? Today, they're handing out RPG-7s and NLAWs. RPGs are rocket-propelled grenades. NLAWs are light anti-tank weapons, single shots. It's mounted, fire from the shoulder. You fire it towards the target. you toss it and you run away. RPGs, you load the grenade, you fire the grenade, you can load another grenade, fire another grenade. The same launcher can be used multiple times. They're handing them out to citizens in Kyiv. They're teaching citizens how to create Molotov cocktails and improvised explosive devices. If you're between the ages of 18 and 60 and a male, you cannot leave the border of Ukraine. You are part of the Ukrainian army now. That's how fast this has happened. We're not 48 hours. We're not 48 hours in yet. It was the night before last in the middle of my broadcast when everything kicked off. That's how fast this is going. But it's not fast enough for Putin. And that's a problem. Putin has called for Ukrainian armed forces to lay down their weapons and to turn them against their own government instead. And I just realized this was from Christopher Miller here. Air raid warning in Kyiv. This is 28 minutes ago. Missiles being fired on the capital. I counted 3 large strikes in the past 5 minutes, watching from my window and seeing the sky light up. The roar of explosions reverberating across the city. Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. Okay. TV Rain is an independent, okay, this is at TV Rain, an independent source. Let me see if I can get a translation of this tweet. Russia plans to threaten to kill Ukrainian soldiers and their families if they refuse to surrender. American intelligence has such information report citing a CNN source. Okay. Okay, okay. I'm wondering why all this is in Russian. It's because I went to that thread. 27 minutes ago, large attack going on at Kyiv. 22 minutes ago, UK bans Russian private planes from its airspace. Air raid sirens going off in Kyiv right now. 16 minutes ago, President Zelensky, who is Jewish, by the way, which makes it incredibly laughable when Putin calls him a Nazi. You know, and that's a tactic. You call somebody else what you really are, you know, to try to deflect. Trump does that a lot. President Zelensky asked the Israeli prime minister to mediate in negotiation with Russia. We await the official reaction on the Israeli side. That was 16 minutes ago. Again, this is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus if you're just watching. I'm Barry Welsh. I'm your host. You can find me on Twitter as Barry A. Welsh _USA. And I'll be posting some episodes there as well. But until I can get it figured out how to post simultaneously at multiple sites. But thank you for watching. Lots going on in Kyiv right now. That's 26 minutes ago, 27 minutes ago. Okay, let's watch this.
Right now, air raid sirens are sounding in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. This city is under attack at the moment. We hear explosions in the distance. Ukrainian forces are trying to push back Russian troops attempting to enter the city. Right now, air raid sirens are sounding in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. This city is under attack at the moment. We hear explosions in the distance. Ukrainian forces are trying to push back Russian troops attempting to enter the city. Right now, air raid sirens are sounding in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. This city is under attack at the moment. We hear explosions in the distance. Ukrainian forces are trying to push back Russian troops attempting to enter the city. Right now, air raid sirens are sounding in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. This city is under attack at the moment. We hear explosions in the distance. Ukrainian forces are trying to push back Russian troops attempting to enter the city. Right now, air raid sirens.
Okay. I apologize. I had to run and let my dog in. That's why we heard that so many times. But, you know, I got to take care of Doofus dog. Come on. My computer is really lagging. Okay. 34 minutes ago, NATO Secretary General says that cyber attacks could trigger Article 5 of the organization's charter, the so-called commitment clause that we talked about just a few minutes ago, that considers an attack on any NATO ally an attack on all. So, yeah, I reported on that a few minutes ago. Not now. Not now. I apologize. Oakley wants to play with her pig. That's what you're hearing in the background. You know, a little bit of levity in the middle of incredible tense and dark situations. So thank you, girl. Let me go back to the top. Okay, this is from Scooter Caster 5 minutes ago. She's continuing on the road headed west, heading in the direction of Poland. So this is, I don't know if it has audio or not. This is heading out. Okay, where are we at now? There we go. All right. It appears that at least one of the cameras is back on in Kyiv. I don't know. There's some street lights here along the center of the city, but the majority of the center is dark. So I imagine we will get some updates on that. This is Sumy here, where the cursor is at the moment. These are flashing lights. Doesn't appear to be volume from any of the 4 channels, but this is a good sign here because all the Kyiv channels were dark. Even the Chinese channel went out. So that's a good sign that there's power, at least it appears in the center of the city. And I imagine that's in the area the president is at. There have been a lot of Russian saboteurs in Kyiv. There have been, we had it last night on the episode, trackers, like little homing devices that guided missiles could draw into, and also red X's painted on the rooftops of buildings. If you're just joining us, a quick recap. In the past 2 days, Ukraine has been forced to restrict every 18 to 60-year-old male from leaving the country. And basically, they are now part of the army. Yesterday, they were handing out AK-47s at specific locations and ammo. Today, they are handing out RPGs and shoulder-fired, single-shot light anti-tank missiles. The president is still in Kyiv. He had a live broadcast. I'll see if I can bring it up on Twitter. It is an incredible situation, and the voice of reason is the Taliban. Okay. The Taliban calling for peace and dialogue. We're back to Twitter here. 6 minutes ago, next to TV, that's Eastern European TV, report a gas station in Mykolaiv has exploded as a result of shelling. We've talked about so much stuff on here in the past few days. It's just amazing. Okay, I was talking about in-law, and there it is right there. This is 8 hours ago. Russian forces have captured an in-law tube near Lunsk, but are being very careful to show inside. Might have already been expended. Okay. Streets of Sumy, where intense street battles took place. For the most part, live fact-checking Russia, and the overall response has been well. However, the screw-up was revealing the U.S. would not go into Ukraine. Yeah, I said that way back. I said, we've showed them our cards by saying we wouldn't do it. I understand why. We wouldn't do it. But you didn't have to tell me. I already understood. And you shouldn't have told them. My report on day 2 of the war, not the blitzkrieg that the Kremlin seemed to have hoped for, and Ukrainian resistance has been impressive. But be wary of firm conclusions. Half of Russian combat power has not yet committed, and Kyiv not yet seriously tested. 9 minutes ago, the U.S. will now impose personal sanctions on Russian President Vladimir Putin, the White House announced in response to Russia's invasion. Well, that falls in step with what many European falls in lockstep with what many European countries have already done. I think the United Kingdom led the way on that. Okay. All right. I just got to notification on the phone here to take a look at what was captured on the way to the Ukrainian capital. I don't know. We're probably going to get a commercial pop up here. So again, I get such a lag on my computer. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I can't do that. I could, but I don't want to do that. Let's go back to, I'm going to hop back to the, I'm going to hop back. Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. I'm over here at the chat page for just a second. Theo Brand, Grandmaster J is still scheduled for trial. I honestly, in this past week, I haven't talked to anybody. I think it is next week. I'm going to try to contact some of his people and see if it's okay if I go down there one day and cover what's happening. But honestly, I haven't had any communication with anybody from the NFAC for a couple of weeks now. Yeah, Putin's not going to hurt. I agree with that, Fred. Putin's not going to hurt from sanctions. He's been putting money away for a long time, and there's not going to be a problem with him being able to access money himself. Now, the question becomes: does that hold true for the Russian people, or that? My hope, and it's what I see as the only hope of ever de-escalating, is the Russian overthrow of Putin, which would be hard to do. As most of you that watch this know, my take is this is just going to escalate until a nuclear bomb is dropped. And then that changes everything. And that means literally everything. But I'll talk about that in just a second. Okay. I've got a report here that there is a major battle underway. Okay. Yeah. We're a major battle underway for the capital. And okay, thank you for sharing that. I'm looking for something specifically. I'm not going to take very long. I apologize. We're on the street view cameras of 4 areas. 3 areas, actually. Here we go. All right. There. Switch over here and show you this, and then I'll get back over the chat. I don't want these to be too long. If you're just joining us and you're new to this, I don't come on here and talk for 14 hours at a time. Okay. There's a guy named Steve Lookner that's how he covers things. And so for those of you that want to watch all the time, go see Steve. For those that want everything condensed into like, an hour and a half at the longest, so you can get an idea of what's happening, subscribe, like, and share this, please. This is what I wanted to show.
Что, ребята, как дела? Что, тиха украинская ночь, да, как говорил великий украинский писатель Гоголь? Все ли у вас хорошо, ребятки? Нравятся ли вам наши байрактары? Как вы думаете, что это над вами сейчас летает? Как вы думаете, что это шуршит в кустах, пацаны? Какие у вас есть мысли по этому поводу? Что бы это могло быть, блядь?
Just a kid. Just a kid getting ready to face a life and death situation.
Ребятки, он пиздец. Вы сейчас остановились. У нас все хорошо. Мы подтягиваем резервы. У нас есть авиация. У нас есть танки. У нас есть все. Вам жопа, парни. Давайте так. Сдайтесь нахуй в плен. Пока есть такая возможность. Многие ваши уже выбрали этот путь. Он не самый херовый на самом деле. Мы с пленными... Возможно, это ошибка, но мы к пленным относимся довольно хорошо. Поэтому сейчас вы стали, а дальше мы начнем вас гонять. И делать мы это будем прямо сейчас. Поэтому используйте свой последний шанс.
I have no idea what he's saying. We have no idea what he's saying, but his expression and his body language, and he seems to have not faced conflict yet. This is open source technical, a NATO E3 Sentry running a circuit right on the border of Ukraine, right here. So when I wish I could find it. There's a picture of Dallas, Texas. I don't know if it was photoshopped or not, but there's a picture of Dallas, Texas, where a lot of the buildings had blue and yellow lights on in support of Ukraine. 17 minutes ago from Newsweek, Ukraine's military praised the soldier who sacrificed his own life to slow invading Russian soldiers. Heroic Ukraine soldier blows up bridge and himself to halt Russian advances. God have mercy. This is not a game. And the ramifications of this are wow. I've got footage somewhere of a Russian tank just running over and flattening, just literally. Okay, this is one of the things I wanted to show. I've got footage of a Russian tank just demolishing a car. Yeah, it's probably 2 minutes of street fighting, urban street fighting, something that you would not imagine could possibly happen in this time. But again, if you're just joining us, thanks for joining. It's our afternoon update, getting you up to date on what's going on, primarily in Ukraine, with our focus being there at the moment.
Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут, голова офісу президента тут, прем'єр-міністр.
Okay, I got it. This isn't. I've got to find it. I've got one with the translation, so bear with me here for just a couple of moments, if you would, and we'll find. 19 minutes ago, Michael Kaufman reports continued airstrikes on bases across Ukraine. Wow. Okay, that does appear to be a fairly major explosion.
Прилетел туда истребитель. Вот это уже я заснял полностью.
Метров 50 только, или 100 поднялась соплом.
Wow. 32 minutes ago, the United States will impose sanctions on Russian president, okay, and prime minister. All right. 19 minutes ago, the Russian foreign ministry said sanctions against Putin and foreign minister Lavrov reflect the West's absolute impotence on foreign policy, according to a Russian news agency. Russia has long been excluded from the Eurovision Song Contest and Formula One race. Its annual Formula One race has been canceled. And okay, this is sports crossing over. Putin's spokesman's daughter posted, then deleted anti-war message. Wow, 24 minutes ago. This is from Newsweek. Putin's spokesman's daughter posted, then deleted an anti-war message. Prominent Russians spoke out against the president's invasion of Ukraine, while hundreds of anti-war demonstrators I want to see the message. Oh, she just posted no war to her Telegram account. All right, that's what it was. That's why you need to look at things, because the headlines don't always give you the story. They are often used just to get you to click on the link. That's one of my writer friends. That was 14 hours ago. 26 minutes ago, Ukraine invasion and Russian stranglehold on European natural gas supplies and influence on global crude oil production is upending U.S. domestic energy prices. That's showing $6.21. That's the Washington Post. I don't think gas prices have gone up to $6 in the United States. I'm going to scoot on by that. I'm running on like 6 hours sleep in the last 48 hours and Barty. Yeah, I can relate. You can probably hear my voice. Marco Rubio. I honestly never thought I would be agreeing with Marco Rubio on too many things, but I've been agreeing with everything. I've been agreeing with him on everything over the past 72 hours, or he's been agreeing with me, depending on who said it first. He says, this is a very dangerous moment. Putin is increasingly angry and isolated, and NATO is outraged by his barbarity and feels increasingly threatened by his actions. At some point, someone is going to take action they may not view as an attack, but that the other side does. And that right there is what we've been talking about. A lot of people have been saying, what's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of this? Why would he be crazy enough to do this? I'm created. You're in Georgia, scheduled to sit. Yeah, 7,000 United States. Okay. 7,000 United States troops, additional troops. All right. We've already moved troops from Italy into Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. 7,000 additional troops. And these are heavy mechanized divisions, I'm told, are going to be moving across the Atlantic into Poland, into Romania, and as well as the 45,000. They're not included in the 45,000 troop NATO emergency force that they have now deployed. So you're probably going to be looking at close to 80,000 troops, because Britain's going to start sending individual troops, not NATO troops. It's starting to line up. We're starting to see countries that are siding with Russia and far-right extremism of dictatorships, and we're starting to see countries line up with NATO and the left with democracies and freedom. And that's what this is going to come down to. This is going to come down to dictatorship and oppression versus democracies and freedom. And that's how it's going to line up. And we talked about BRICS, BRICS, with the B being Brazil, with the R being Russia, with the I being India. I'm not sure about India. I'm not sure if that I should be indicative of India. I think it might be Iran for that I. BRIC, China, and S, South Africa, as those being a counter to NATO. And then you've got Argentina, you've got, or not Argentina, but Venezuela, and you've got other countries. Azerbaijan, I think, just came out and said they're not going to sanction Russia in any way. A lot of countries that are part of United Nations are going to line up with Russia because they're not in NATO. And again, I think the United States, they're trying to draw the United States. The United States has been the bully on the block for the past 40 years, and maybe even 80 years if you go back to the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But the United States has been the big boy on the block, the bully. China and Russia both got decimated economically at times by our actions. And I think it's time. I think they think it's time they bring us down a notch, if not totally destroy the idea of democracy and freedom, because that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to dictators and oppression, or freedom and democracy. And somebody's going to drop a bomb. I said, I don't agree with Marco Rubio on a lot of things. Some things I do, but not a lot of things. But we've been in lockstep here, and that is an odd feeling. But he says it too. Somebody's going to do something that may not be intended as a sign of war, but the other side sees it that way. Well, I'm taking it a step further. Putin is getting slowed down. Putin is getting agitated, as I think Rubio said. And Putin is going to drop a nuclear bomb on Kyiv. Look for Russian troops to be withdrawing, okay? When you see Russian troops withdrawing from around Kyiv, if they don't take it, if they can take Kyiv and topple the government, there won't be a bomb. If they can't take Kyiv any other way, watch for Russian troops to slowly pull out of the area, and he will drop one, because he knows nobody's going to do anything about it, or he doesn't think anybody will do anything about it. And I don't either. I think it would scare the crap out of the entire world. And I think he knows that too. And I think he's ready to use it. So I hope I'm wrong, man. I hope I'm wrong. because I don't want to see that happen. But everything's lining up. Everything's playing out. I'm going to go back to, I'm going to hop back on my Twitter one more time here, and then very graphic video apparently showing the charred corpses of Russian National Guardsmen en route to Kyiv. No, we don't need to do that. Let me go to the top and just scan through the latest tweets. Minister of Digital Transformation of Ukraine wrote a letter to the head of Apple with a request to disconnect Russians from the App Store. Wow. That's I didn't expect to see that. That's a different kind of it's a different kind of thing. The International Monetary Fund said that Kyiv has requested emergency financing. This is next. This is Eastern European television. 33 minutes ago, Ukraine and Russia are discussing place and time for talks, Zelensky's spokesman said. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's not a moon. It's a space station. But you got to try. 3 minutes ago, reports of intense Russian bombardment of Kyiv right now. Huge explosions now loud enough to set off car alarms. Small arms fire audible in the distance. So that's where we stand, friends. That's where we're at right now. The voice of reason has been the Taliban saying stop and negotiate. Putin has basically said nothing's going to bother him or detract him. We've got a new Supreme Court justice nominee here in the United States, in the first black woman, by the way. In Kyiv yesterday, they were handing out AK-47s and ammunition, and today they're handing out rocket-propelled grenade launchers and single-shot light armor anti-tank weapons. So Kyiv has been the power plant and heat source for Kyiv has been bombed. Chernobyl power plant, former site of the power plant in Chernobyl, now a nuclear waste dump, has been captured by Russia, and in doing so, a large amount of radioactive dust has been released, and there's radiation spikes all throughout that area. I'll be back tonight at I'm planning on coming back in about 5 hours, so I'll be back around 10 p.m. live, and we will we'll talk about all this. We'll see what's happened between now and then, and I hope I'm wrong too, man. I hope I'm wrong on all this, but I haven't been wrong yet, and I'm sad about it because it hurts my stomach. I get done with these reports, and I'm ill, because when I'm doing it, I'm not thinking about the people. When I stop, I start thinking about the charred remains we just quickly ran past, about the dead Russian soldier laying in the snow by the tank, about the dead bodies coming out of the family cars that were caught in the middle of the tank rolling over the car. As long as I'm doing this, I'm kind of detached from it. I'm just a voice giving information, but when it stops, it comes crushing in. And but we're going to keep doing it because we have to, because we're getting information out there in a way that needs to be done, and it's not being done by a lot of people. So with all that being said, thank you all for watching. You know, it's a dark world. You know, I want everybody to try to be a light. And I wish nothing but peace and blessings upon all of you. And please remember the people of Ukraine and the families of soldiers in Russia who've lost fathers and brothers and uncles and dads. So look for me back here at 10 o'clock tonight. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're on. Please subscribe, like, and share. And it's a dark world. Be a light. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I love you all. Thank you very much for watching.